past experiences, and also because I believe that I am capable of doing the job. Back when I was in high school, I was in Key Club, and I was the treasurer. I took care of the money. I kept track of how much money was going in and how much money was going out. I was also in charge of making money, so I do have experience with fundraising. When I was the treasurer, I learned that I really liked math and that I was good with money. And I also learned how to be more organized and how to maintain my stress level. So if I do happen to be a treasurer, it won't negatively affect me because I already have an idea of what I'll be up against because I have experience. That's it.
Why do you want to be CSUN VSA treasurer?
Okay, because I want to expand on my experience. I want to help CSUN VSA because you guys have helped me open up more. You guys taught me how to be a more open person.
What would you prioritize during your term? Like someone with you could prioritize events being good, or you could prioritize the amount of events that you want to fund, or you could prioritize saving enough money for the next one.
I think I would focus on quality of the event. So, wait, what are you asking me? Like,
Yeah, that's
okay, that's my answer. That's it. Great. Thank you guys.
Wait, I have a question. Okay, so obviously as treasurer, you're going to be doing a lot of budgeting, right? But my question is, how will you enable others to become better at budgeting?
I'm gonna walk with them. What are you asking? Like if I split up differently?
Well, more of like how you're going to help them become better.
I could do a workshop.
Hypothetically, let's say someone stole a cash box. How do you proceed with that?
I would talk to the board first, and then maybe, I'll talk to them first, and then if I have to, then we'll talk to everyone in the club, and if no one is responding, that's a really tough question, actually.
It is a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I would just talk to them. I mean, like, can't do anything else.
My qualifications is I drive. But one of my major reasons of being ICC is because I really want to expand the club. When I started my freshman year, I didn't really have a purpose. You know, it was just going through the motions, going to class, go home, do homework. But once I found VSA, you know, my life kind of took a turn. My first external event was UCR, and I love that event. External events were like my favorite thing. I went to Irvine, I went to countless BCNs this year, and that kind of pushed me to want to be ICC. And the reason why being an ICC would be great for me is because I really want to help CSUN connect with other schools. Like, our relationship with CSULA is great, and I really want to do that on a personal level with every other club if possible, maybe a couple schools by the end of my term, but to actually build that bond with other schools. And secondly, I want to bring out other new members to external events to basically experience what I've experienced, to kind of open them up, to see, you know, what it's like to go out, seeing other VSAs, seeing how like each club connects, how our club connects. I mean, yeah, vote for me.
Yes. For next year, what is your workload and how will you prioritize considering your workload next year?
Alright, for workload, I plan to do some summer school. So that way when I do actual school, there is some majors, but also are some easier classes like GEs. So that will lessen up the tension, so that way I can go out to more external events. And I think that's my goal, to basically go out more for VSA.
Are you working at all right now?
I'm working now, but I plan to quit by this, like around July, so that's when we get things started, right? August is the
Pretty
day.
much, yeah, you start mid.
So that's when I plan to put in my 2 weeks.
All right, situational. If you're at an event or a party, right, and let's say a group of your general members get into a fight with another school, how will you proceed with that?
That's a good question. Well, first I would break it up, obviously. I would talk to each one of my members, but I wouldn't, when I talk to them, I'm not going to assume their side. I will go to the other school, we would talk it out, and then we would find some sort of medium. Because when there is a fight, there is no right or wrong. Both sides are wrong, and we just have to find a medium with the school.
Let's say you don't find a medium that night, what happens?
We just have to go. We can't stay there because then tension just builds up, and when tension builds up, it gets worse.
Okay, after that tension builds up, how are you going to proceed with that? Once, let's say, their board knows what happens and your board knows what happens.
I think we have to be the better man and apologize. Even if we feel like we are right, I think apologies are the best way, because when you do say sorry, there is some kind of relief in like, okay, this will apologize, then we can move forward.
You said you were talking about expanding the club. How do you expand the club?
We're getting to know each ICC. I would plan to go to many of the first gens, talking to ICCs, talking to members, talk more. I want to go to the VSA camp, make more friends over there, basically roll out.
Let's say you're the only person driving. Are you willing to drive by yourself down to, let's say, UCSD?
Yes. I want to expand, so, if I'm the only person, then, and if that's going to get our, if I want them to know that we're there, I want to support them just like, we would want support too, even if they won't, I want to show that support.
Okay, how many miles do you have in your car? Is it past 100,000 or is it over 200,000?
It's close to 200,000.
Close to 200,000, okay. Let's say you're driving a car with members in it, you guys, your car crashes in the middle of the day, or let's say night. Or let's say you're at a party and someone gets alcohol poisoning. What would you do?
Is the car broken?
Sure, let's say the car's broken too.
Is it underage drinking?
Most likely, yes, it is.
Well, the best thing I can do is ask someone to take them to the hospital. If my car isn't working, I have to make sure, I have to ask someone who is not drinking, they're sober, they are a designated driver, to first ask them to go to the hospital. Now, let's say my car does crash, I do have AAA, so they will assist me. And then if I do need to get them home, I do have family members that do drive, and usually if we're going to, like, let's say, Orange County, I do have friends there, my family has friends, we can call, get them rides home.
Another question. Essentially, you're working with 2 boards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said that you wanted to create other events with other schools. Are you going to prioritize your school events over USA events, or are you going to prioritize the collab?
That's a tough one. I think depending on how I saw it this year, I would try to do my best with the U, but I would also love to be involved with our VSA. Because doing VCN this year really wanted me to get involved, so I would do my best to do both, but not overwhelm myself. If I can't, unfortunately I can't, but I think, helping out with the CSUN event is also very important.
Those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Calvin. I'm running for ACE chair. My qualifications. In high school, I was in a club called BTA. We had, although I wasn't like I guess an ACE type of board member.
Sorry, I need to. Yeah, sorry. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that.
Okay. Although I was not a an ACE type of board member in high school, I still was in charge of setting up, I guess you can call it big or little in high school. And through that, although we didn't finish the program because I graduated, I was able to pair up a few students with their pairs, and it seemed like they enjoyed each other, and which I thought was pretty cool. Why I'm interested in joining or becoming an ACE chair is because joining VSA this semester kind of made a big impact on me, especially with ACE. I met some pretty good people, and ACE helped me find John, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
He's not here, is he?
Yeah, that kind of impact I want to make on, I guess, for the future people who plan on joining the program. Yeah, that's it.
So when I was helping Eve match the ACE pairs together, I matched you. So I had to really observe people from day one when they came in and imagine them together based on their answers. I guess from observing everyone in the club, imagine we were your new people that are coming in for your first, second, third, fourth, fifth gen.
Yeah.
How would you imagine, and what would you look for to see that people are a good match?
Well, observing the new members, I kind of just eyeball and see who's interacting with people, just straight off the bat from the beginning. As we move on towards, I guess, ACE Week, that's when I'll introduce the program and see who's interested, you know. And from there, there can most likely be there's a possibility where people are just trying to find a possibility of matching with their big or little, and through that I kind of just observing people is just just the small part of before pairing, because I guess for me, I didn't really talk to John at all until ACE Week, and we were matched then, so I thought that was. But I think just observing is just a little step until we move further into the semester.
Okay. So I guess after observing when you're making the ACE packs, what are the top 5 things that you would for sure include?
Top 5. My main focus would be the personality things. I want to see how people are, and for examples, are they introverts, extroverts? You wouldn't want to pair. Well, for me, I wouldn't pair 2 introverts together because although they are similar in, I guess, living way, it wouldn't work out because I would rather have an introvert and an extrovert together. I think I said that wrong actually. Yeah, introvert, extrovert, because the extrovert will take the introvert to go out more, make the person open up. From there, kind of just throw in some questions that kind of see if it'll match, hobbies, interests, food, music, anything like that. From there, I kind of just see where it takes off, you know, and I guess during ACE Week, I might just, you know, because I would like to introduce bigs before introducing the apps, so they would see the possibility of who they're gonna pick, you know. Yeah, so then it wouldn't be hectic while people are just naming people they don't really actually know, and when they know there's a if they know who's picking up, I think it'd be easier for the littles to see who they want. And yeah, ACE Week I'll just sneak my way in there to ask a couple questions.
Okay. So one thing that really helped was naming oh, I want to be paired with this if possible. What if person A says, ooh, I want person B, but then person B says, I don't want person A for sure, in their app? What would you do if they come up to you and you're like, hey, how come they didn't give me so and so?
Well, if person A wanted person B, but person B wouldn't want A, I wouldn't pair them up because I wouldn't want to force something like that upon anyone. You wouldn't want to force a relationship to happen like that. And like if person A decides, oh, you know, I wanted person B, but you didn't give me to them, or give me them, like, well, I can try to pair you up with someone else, or you can, you know, wait next semester to see if there's someone else you would prefer, because unfortunately, I don't think you two would be good paired.
Right. And then another thing is a lot of times the pairings don't really work out. So what do you do if one of the person in the pair is disappointed with the pairing and then don't really benefit from the ACE program?
If it comes to that, it'll just there's really nothing I can do unless they, like, either they can try to work things out. If not, like, I can try to pair them up next semester, because there wouldn't be a point in looking for another pair if per se there wasn't another pair available. And if there was, I would ask, hey, do you want to pair with this person? Like, if you are interested, if it works out, good. If not, we can try next semester.
Okay. And then in order to, like, I guess, help the pairs bond, what, like, do you have, like, any ideas and what you might want to do throughout the semester to help them out?
What do you mean, like they're already paired up?
Yeah, they're already paired
Okay.
up.
I guess I had well, it wasn't my idea. I kind of heard about it before, like before, but there's something called ACE appreciation, and I do plan, or if I do be ACE, I do plan on having that implemented, and like, you know, from there, like, I don't have the gist of everything down, but from there I can try to set up, or, you know, coordinate with the event core to see if we can coordinate something, you know, to help, I guess, the bigs and little to bond with each other.
Last question.
Alright, so let's say there's a general member. He's only been in for one semester, but he's really cool. Would you let him have a little?
Wait, what do you mean, like, he just joined VSA?
No, like last semester. Like, say he's a board member, but he's only been on for one semester.
I guess it depends on circumstances.
Okay.
How y'all doing tonight? Y'all good? You guys are so nice. I'm so sorry that I did not dress business casual or business formal, but I hope that doesn't take away from the seriousness about the position that I'm going to run for today. I want to simply run for ACE because I want to build the family connection back with with VSA. I know, like, we have deep connections with Big and Little, and I love the concept of Big and Littles. I love having the idea that, you know, you have somebody to mentor or be the mentee. And I feel like, what's it called? The program would be really new to me. That's one thing that I don't have experience with ACE, but I do have past experiences with, like, other e-board positions, such as, like, my senior year of high school, I was president for one club, I was secretary for another, I was treasurer for two in all my senior year, all of that in my senior year. And so I feel like doing ACE chair, running for ACE chair, would really expand my horizons and give me something new to look forward to and new to you know, experience with. And I feel like I want to also expand my interpersonal skills. And I hope to be more social. I feel like I already am social, being the fact that I was in VSN this year. But what's it called? But I would like to. That's what I would like to gain from the ACE position, and I hope that those are my goals for ACE. Also, this past weekend at UCLA, I was also a family head for their Wong conference. And so I feel like, I guess that's a little bit of my experience that I also gained. And that being a family head also challenged me because my family, some of them were introverts, one of them was, like, extroverted, and so it was really hard for me to interact with the introvert, but it really also helped me because I had to step back and be like, okay, I have to, what matters to this person? Take a step back from, like, me talking all the time and let this person talk and voice their opinions. And so I felt like from that conference I really gained how to, you know, interact with different kinds of people. And I feel like the ACE program, that would really that would be my contributions to this program.
Questions?
So for questions, when I was helping Eve make the pairs for A's, I had to like really observe people and imagine them together based on their answers in the survey. So like in the first week, and so until you pair them up, what's like the first thing you're going to do to make sure that you're able to make good pairs?
First thing I would do to make sure that there would be good pairs would be to interact with all members. I feel like that's something that would really help with the ACE pairings. Interact with all members, get to know them, and then I would also review the applications very very well. So yeah, that's probably what I would do best for ACE pairings.
Okay, so when you're making the survey, what are like 3 things that you're for sure, or 5 things that you're for sure going to include in the survey?
5 things that I would be including in the survey for sure would be 1, would you like a big or little? 2, what's it called? 2, it would be what are your likes and dislikes? 3, it would be would you like a male? Would you have a preference, like male or female? 4, it would be what do you look in a big or little? And 5, I feel like it would be who do you not want to, or like who would you not, or who would you prefer to have specifically made out? So yeah.
Right, okay. So I guess from that, so when imagine that there's person A and they specifically write like, oh, I want person B. But then you see person B's survey and they say, like, I for sure don't want person A. So then you pair them up and then person A goes up to you and is like, hey, like, why didn't you pair me up with person B? Like, what happened? How do you deliver that news to person A?
Well, I think I wouldn't have paired them up in the first place. I think that would have been a really bad choice. But if that had happened, I would be like, I would probably tell them if you really are uncomfortable with your big or your person A or person B, if you're really uncomfortable with that person, I would talk with somebody from board and be like, is there a way like we can like compare them? I guess because if like you know like if one person wants to be with the other person but the other person doesn't, then it should be.
Oh right, yeah. So I meant like if you like when you don't pair them up together.
Oh, when you don't pair them
Yeah,
up.
and then person A is disappointed that you didn't get person B. How do you let them know that I didn't pair you up with person B because?
I would just tell them I didn't pair them up with person B because I would say things just didn't work out. Yeah, and I'm sorry, but yeah.
Okay. And then imagine that like you made a pair and then you started out pretty good, and you did do your best to pair them together, like based on your observations and like your answers. But midway through the semester they don't work out, like things just went sour. What are you going to do about that?
I think one thing about being ACE and like pairings is that sometimes not everything's gonna be perfect. So I would probably I don't think I would do anything about that unless they both came up and told me about it. I feel like sometimes pairings just don't work out and that's bound to happen. So that's how I would go about that situation.
Okay. And then the last one, to make sure that to make sure that you can at least do something about the ACE pairs to help them bond together better. What are like some specific things that you're planning to do for the ACE program throughout the semester, including like the family program?
Okay, so some new ideas that I have for the ACE program. I feel like you know how we have ACE Week, which kind of gets people to like figure out like for the ACE program, to sign up for the ACE program, and they sign up for it. I feel like once they get into their pairs, we should also develop or create also an event that's where everybody's already paired or in their families, and then have like a week full of like events and like activities that they can do together. so that way they can, build those bonds and build those connections.
Okay, great.
Anyway, so I'll also be running for Associate's Chair. The reason why I wanted to run for Associate's Chair because being part of Associates really opened my eyes to the possibilities to really open myself to others and also externalize and internalize with members of VSA. Associates, the reason why I want to run the Associate Chair because it gave me a chance to really find like my weaknesses and help me grow from that because I believe the Associates program really helps you find your true inner self in terms of like how you become a good leader in the future in your career. And that's why I want to run the Associates in the future. A lot of the associates that I work with this year really are really connected to, and I want other members to feel that connection too. Because when you're part of the associates program, you get that sort of that bond that because you go through so much, in the end you see the success, and you really get that sort of like that happiness. And I want to show the future general members like what's in store for them in terms of being part of associates, and you also get to do so much more than just being a general member. Also, with the associates, you're able to do you're able to open up a lot. For example, as an associate, I got to do Fucking, which is an event that's hosted by UCSB, which is kind of like a male pageant show, and I was able to go and meet other people from other VSAs, and it really helped me get to know other people. So when I see them in other events for the UVSA or other VSA events, I got to see them again. We had that fond memories. As the associates chair, I also want to be sort of like their mentor for them because I learned so much from being an associate. I also want to pass down my knowledge from myself to them. So that's why I'm running for associate chair. Thank you.
Questions?
This question is from Tinn, and tell me a time when you had to deal with complicated coworkers.
Well, with any group, you're always going to be faced with adverse problems along the way in terms of like communication or like getting things done. And from my experience being part of the associates, it's all about being patient. And making sure that you're in constant communication with your coworkers, aka the associates and other board members. So I feel like having that, you're able to get work done, but at the same time you don't overstep or hurt people in the end as well. Yes. Yes.
Hi, my name is Alan. Assuming you win both VP and associate chair, how are you going to manage your time due to the fact that you are going to be working and going to be a full-time student?
That's a very good question, and I put a great thought into this because I recently got hired at Space Snow. Catch me out there too. And I realized that being a full-time student, having a job, and also being part of a board, which also having 2 board positions, is a lot of work. But I believe if you have that dedication to the club and your dedication to yourself, that I believe you can get almost anything done. Because as an associate, I had to take up a lot of responsibilities by myself that I never had before. I did like countless fundraisers. I went to TV tapings. I did VCN this semester as well. I did so much, and that took up a lot of time too. So adding associates leader and also co-VP is basically just another step in my career as who I am, and I want to improve myself. And if I don't meet those standards, then that means I haven't made it yet. But I still want to push myself to reach those goals, because I feel like if you just stay at your sort of like this mundane day-to-day life, then you're not able to like grow as a person. And accepting these accepting these responsibilities helped me realize how much I can improve myself and what I can do to be better. Clyde?
So this year there was a problem between having like a communication bridge between the associates and the board. What are some specific things that you can do to fix that?
yes, that was a problem, and I feel like one way we can solve that is by making sure that the associates and also the associate's head is communicating with board, because first thing for me, I just barely started communicating with board in terms of the end of the year banquet, and because I was communicating with board, I was able to do more things because I don't like to be in the dark with a lot of things. Also, same with board, I feel like they don't want to be in the dark with a lot of things too, but they want to know, but both sides want to know what each other is doing. So I feel like by extending your hand to the other side is a great way to start this sort of like this open dialogue between both the associates and board. So in the future we don't have these sort of like miscommunications and like stuff like that.
So I guess where would you build that communication bridge?
Right from the beginning, because if you don't start from the beginning and you start like later on when there was a problem, then because we had that problem, we have to start from there. But if you start from the beginning and like making sure like we do these things where we talk to each other and like during board meetings we communicate and like openly express like how we feel and like what we think how each other is doing. That way we don't feel uncomfortable and later on in the semester where when like someone messes up and then they get called out for it and it's all a big ordeal. So I believe in the beginning semester is the best point to start that open dialogue between both sides.
So how are you going to like make sure that they can get in contact with each other at any time?
I'll make sure that if when I become associate leader, I let my associates know that if you have any questions regarding like let's say fundraiser, you can contact the fundraising chair. Or if you have any questions regarding ACE week, you contact ACE chair. Such like that. Like just letting them know that don't be afraid to talk, because we're all in the end we're all just students here. We're all just students. We're not actual working like board members. So I feel like because of that, people are kind of afraid to reach out. But letting them know that it's okay just to talk to someone in board, or like if you have any questions, let me know and I'll talk to them. It's very good, just so they can open up more and be more comfortable with talking to each other.
So imagine that associates are like starting to form cliques and leaving other people out. What's the first thing that you're going to do and how you're going to fix that?
Well, the first step is to find out if there are any cliques, because even so if I'm the associate head, I wouldn't know everything that's going on in associates because not everybody wants to talk about everything. But I'll try to get to know what's going on. If there are cliques, I'll let them know like, hey, try to include everybody, because I feel like if you just leave out people, those people that felt left out are gonna leave, and that's a really bad thing. So making sure that everybody's, and also I take it on my personal. I take it on my personal responsibility to make sure everybody's in the circle, because I really hate the fact that I really don't like the fact that people are left out, because I feel like that's because I know personally how that feels, and I don't want that. I don't want other people to feel like that way. So I make sure that everybody's included and making sure that everybody's cool with each other. And there's many ways to figure that out and like find ways to solve that problem.
Okay. And then, one last question.
Yes.
What are like 3 specific ideas you have to make sure that the associates would possibly be ready to run for board if they wanted to?
So this semester I was introduced to the shadowing program, and it really helped me figure out what I wanted to do in board. Because at first I was struggling from ideas from like being an ACE chair or like being a events board and stuff like that. But when I finally found what I enjoyed doing, which is obviously first working with the associates and also working with Tinn Ou, it helped me understand like what I really want to do, and that's and I feel like the shadowing program is perfect for that scenario. Another thing is having committees, because a lot of our events we have mini committees. So for example, for VCN camp, I was part of the food committee, and that's sort of like a event support type of job. And I found out I didn't like that, so I didn't want to do that. Having these type of committees help associates to find out what they really want to do and what they don't want to do. So that's what I believe will help associates find out what they want to do in the future.
I'm running for 2017-18 secretary. I really want this position, even though I may not be qualified as any other person here.
The only things I've done is back in high school, I've done teacher, kind of like a teacher's assistant, where I handle a lot of paperwork. And I was also in another club where we had to handle a lot of information. So people would come to me trying to specify what events we were having, what days and what time. So I was always keeping tracks of the information. So it was really important to keep it down on like a form of doc. And back in high school, we utilized a lot of Google Docs. So I feel like with that skill that I had in high school, I will apply it to secretary and keep all the information of board and general members separate, but also together, so it's easier to access. Yeah.
Spoke about this, and we believe that the secretary should be in charge of making sure the board meetings run efficiently. So that includes making sure it doesn't go over time. So like, how would you plan to do that to make sure like we make great use of it?
So one thing I noticed from being trying to take notes for the last few meetings for end of the year banquet is that some of the meetings they went a little bit over because some people were late or like we didn't have the information ready beforehand of the meeting. So the last meeting I tried to have everyone put their notes on our sheet before the meeting, so then when we sat down we would just get started immediately. I also set up like the columns beforehand so that we don't have to make it during. And yeah, I was really prepared when we were sending information over that I was on Facebook and ready to receive the information and add up to the docs. So I will do that next year as well.
Another question. So secretary needs to have strong communication skills with its board. And so do you have like any experience regarding like maybe your experience with associates, like someone you worked with closely or someone with board where you had strong communication?
Like even though I'm not quite very good at socializing, but when it comes to work, I'm very serious about it. I will ask people about if the information is right or not. I won't hesitate to do it, and I will nag you about it even. But that's because I separate friends from work. There's two different things. On a friend level, I won't really talk to you as much, but when it comes to work, I'm very
Any other questions?
So one thing that I talked about with for like possibility of next year's secretary is having a meticulous bookkeeping system. So that includes like taking all the media from all the media people and the historian and whatnot, and then also like every single document and like sign-up sheet made by the board would be saved in one place so that everybody can access it. Where would you make that compilation?
I would like to utilize Google Docs for that. I will make a separate folder for all that information. So if it needs to travel around members very quickly, there will be a folder specifically for that, and I'll share it with everyone on board or associates that needs to access it. So we can just add our files into that, and then we just need to answer it and take a look at it.
Hi, my name's Johnny.
Hi, Johnny.
John. I just like being called John. So yeah. But yeah, I'm running for a fundraising chair, and I think I'm qualified to run for fundraising chair because I've been part of VSA for 2 semesters now. It might not be that long of a time compared to like other board members, obviously. But I've been doing my best to take part in all the events that I can and taking part of the fundraising as well. And I have a gist of how like the fundraising event goes itself, like during the day of. But I've also been part of creating the process for the fundraiser. I've been working with the paperwork, and I even led one of the like led the creation of one of the fundraisers. With the last fundraiser was Quickly, and with the help of Obi, I was able to kind of get it done and have it successful, even though there was a little bit of drawbacks, a little bit of lessons learned. I took it all in, and I can like apply it to any future fundraising events if I do become it. Also, the reason why I want to become fundraising chair is because VSA is really important to me. When I first came here, I was really, really lonely. So lonely. But
you have us.
Yeah, I guess so. But I didn't have you guys before.
Oh.
But I joined VSA off of kind of a random whim, and when I joined it, I was a little shy. I said I'm just a little shy now, but ever since being part of VSA, it's really made me like really outgoing, have a lot of fun. College isn't just about homework and sleep and homework, sleep, homework, sleep. It's about having fun with the people you're with. And I kind of want to continue that. I want to share that with other members because I know what it's like to be alone and doing nothing. So I'd like to share that with other people, to have fun. And I like this. And the way I think about fundraising chair is that fundraising chair is kind of one of the parts that keeps a club alive. Nice ring tone. But it's one of the parts that helps keep a club alive because. Even though members are what occupies the club, funds are what allows the club to make events to have those members go to and keep the members coming back to the club. And so that's why I wanted to try to take that position and try to really go work on that, try to get as much funds as possible so that whenever the club wants to make an event, we can. I love these ringtones. They're all over. Share them with me later. But I want to be able to. I want to make the funds so that whenever a club wants to do an event, or if we want to do a little bit more, we can do that without worrying about scraping the barrel of how much we have. So, and that's it.
Woo! Yeah, please.
Okay, so what are your goals for fundraising?
Well, the primary goal is to make money, but to be more specific with making money is to make enough money so that we don't have to worry about making money. I don't know how that makes sense to you, but what it means by that is I'm continually trying to make enough money per semester so that the next semester or the semester during, we don't have to worry about, we need to make more money. We don't have enough. We have to put out as much fundraisers as possible. I want to have that be already my priority already, so that when there's the time comes for we need this amount of money, it's already we're already working on it or we're already there.
Do you have an amount?
No set amount. No. maybe your amount, the one that you made during the past.
How much was it, Bruce?
I don't know.
Okay, so one of the challenges for me was, finding volunteers to sign up for tabling or for TV taping. How do you encourage others to participate?
Well, I think the best way to go about it is although you have to approach it as we need members to come along to try to get us this money as fundraising. You also kind of want to sell it not only as a way for the club to get money, but also a way for members to come together to have some fun. So the TV tapings, they're fun because you get to watch something new, and when you get to watch something new with friends, you can get together after the show and talk about how much you love this new show or how much you don't like this new show, and then you either get to praise it or bag on it. So it's just all these fundraisers are a way to members get together and spend more time together, but outside of the just general meetings.
Okay, okay, so let's say you need to make $1,800 within 2 months. What are the steps that you'll take in order to obtain that goal?
Well, first I would first have to figure out what kind of fundraisers I can put on. Maybe I can put on the simple ones, maybe from Little Caesars, get the very simple ones. It's what's it called? It's easy to do, not as much of a profit, but it's still profit. And then maybe try to reach out to past fundraisers with Quickly or with other areas, with other businesses, and see if we can get fundraisers with them as often as possible. And just try to fit in a fundraiser like as often as possible. That's the best way I can put it.
And how are you going to do it in a way that you won't burn out the members?
A way to not burn out the members. Oh, you mean like not burn out the watts, right? I think the best way is to try to put as many of them as together within the 2 months that we have. We also want to space them out, so maybe not every week, but maybe every other week if we can manage that. Because, as I said, we don't want to burn them out like, oh, too many fundraisers, too much work, or too much money, can't afford it. So I try to fit as many as I can, like many fundraisers as I can within those 2 months, but also space them out enough so that people get somewhat of like a break. So they don't have to go out and spend their energy and money.
So imagine that we're already at the end of your banquet, and then we pass it on to you. What is the first 3 things that you're going to do as fundraising chair?
Can you rephrase that? Pass it on what?
Pass on the board position to you. We do a candle thing. And
Oh.
then you are now officially the fundraising chair. What are the first 3 things you're going to do when you get home?
First 3 things that I'm gonna do. Celebrate. But no. First, I try to. If I already gained access to it, I'd maybe go into the. I've heard that there's a Google accounts that have access to sheets of previous fundraising chairs. So maybe I could go flip through those to see what stores or business we worked with before to get fundraisers. See if I can set those up to see if I can contact again, see if they're willing to fundraise for us, if they're willing to work with us for fundraising again. Second thing would be, it's hard because that's the number one thing I feel like I would do. Just trying to figure out what fundraisers can we do and can we do them more. Maybe that's all I can really think of right now. Sorry.
What's up, guys? So my name is Vincent, as you guys all know. I'm running for the historian and webmaster positions, and I think I'm qualified for these positions because 1, I attend almost all the events for VSA, and plus webmaster is something I'm going to be doing for the future anyways because I'm a computer science, maybe CIT major in the future. So I'm going to be starting off with webmaster. Why I should be webmaster? When I compare our website to other VSA websites, their websites are so much better than ours. They look much more professional. Not to bag you, our website looks good. For example, UCSB's VSA website looks minimalistic but professional at the same time. This is also that we need the website to look better so that we can get potentially more sponsorships for VCN or MBN. Reason being is because if I were to ask a business for sponsorships, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to Google our name. Our website is the face of VSA. If they're going to look at it and see that they think it's not that professional, they're not going to do the sponsorship. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you that we are going to get more money out of this. However, it is something that is worth trying for. Also, I'll change the website. I'll update it with more events. I will put a calendar for future events. I'll also post pictures up there, maybe a timeline, so it'll be easier for people to look back at pictures. On Facebook, it's not that organized, to be honest. You guys look on Facebook and try to find an event. Sometimes it takes too long to find an event because every event name is different. It's also really hard to look for pictures too, because they're posted on the VSA events, not the VSA page, and that's a pain for me, personally. So I'll be making it more organized. Now onto historian, why I should be a historian. Again, I've attended most events for VSA. A historian's job is to keep a scrapbook of the club's accomplishments and events. It'd be ideal for me to be taking pictures. Now, even though I just start photography, I'd rather have some pictures, some bad pictures, rather than no pictures at all. Because if you look and see some VSA Facebook, you barely have any pictures or events. There are friendship games, and there is a VSA account, which I love, because wow, we can look back at our old pictures and stuff. But for everything else, we really don't have any pictures. Now, the pictures are extremely important. 1, they will encourage people to come out to more events because they're going to look at Facebook or website and be like, damn, I missed out on that event. Or people can look back and be like, wow, yeah, I remember those times. Just like how FOSTA does it. It makes all the members, it makes all the members feel more involved because they got a picture of themselves in the Facebook. It's like, it makes them, even the quiet people will feel more involved within the club. People like to look at themselves when they look at these pictures. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. When we look at friendship games, we were looking at ourselves. We were like, wow, that's Austin attacking everyone. Or Obi standing on the side carrying the flag.
What the hell? Regardless, whatever.
As a student / webmaster, let me show you the VSA that I see. The VSA where everyone's hanging out and laughing. The moments that would be better if it was captured. And so they can look back and remember those good times. People remember times when we simply danced with lip sung to songs, and watching Stephen Pham dance all ratchet to A Million Miles. Or maybe when he was trying to breakdance for VMAs, or like freaking doing the improvs, and where like Anne stole a sum and dragged it, which made me really sad. Or when we told spooky stories for Halloween. Many of you guys don't know those because there's no pictures for those. Or the time when Tinn and I tried so hard to sit on Johnny's lap so they could win boba.
Please tell me that.
Same. You remember small things that make you smile. Let me be the one that make that happen. Well, yeah, that sounds weird, but yeah.
So you mentioned that, you mentioned a lot for historian that there's not that many pictures up in terms of our events. How will you make sure that for every event there'll be a picture of like, you know, are you gonna make it like, are you gonna put a picture like the next day, like possibly the next week? How are you gonna make sure you're gonna do that?
Probably do it by the next day. If I can't make it out to the event, I'll make committees and make sure that we do get pictures. However, if I can't attend an event and there are no committees, no pictures.
But let's say there is no, you can't attend it and you have no committees. How will you try to, like, would you get it from other members, or like, would you ask another board member? How would you do that?
Yeah, I also have board members, or members if they can. Ask them to send in pictures and I'll post it up. Full credits to this person, blah, blah.
I have a question.
So,
what are some first? What are the first steps you're going to take to improve our website?
One, I'm going to compare it to a lot of other websites. For example, UCSD's VSA website or UCLA's. I'll make it look more professional or like organized too. I'll make sure that there's all the events are updated. For example, our website, there's only 3 events: MDM, VCN, and I forgot the other one. For every other VSA out there, we put all their events out there. General meetings, ACE Week, and the list goes on.
How would you allocate your time with creating a website if you do decide to create your own website?
I have an entire summer to create a website. After that website is done, it's just a matter of updating every time there's an event, which really shouldn't take that much time.
Next question? Okay, so we'll go with Clyde and Jason and then Brenda.
Oh, okay, I have multiple ones. Imagine that we're in a VSA event and then you're taking photos. What are 3 things that can make you tell the difference between good photos and bad photos?
One, it's like, I'll take a picture where it shows everything's happening. 2, show the emotions in everyone's faces. 3, actually I really don't have a third, it's both of those. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so there's a possibility that there's going to be like a media committee headed by the media chair next semester. We're going to make sure that the roles are divided or are equally, and then that people aren't stepping over each other's roles. What are you going to do to make sure that doesn't happen?
For a start, I just intend on taking pictures for events. For media stuff, I'm not entirely sure for that. I'm not running for that actually.
Yeah, but if there is, like if the media chair does create a committee, so they're also going to be taking photos for the media chair, how are you going to make sure that you guys don't step over each other? Like,
I'll tell them take as many pictures as we can, and then I'll handle organizing which pictures go up and all that. This is kind of hard to. I personally don't see how they're gonna overstep each other. Granted, you're just taking pictures and just posting it up.
I mean,
Like, can you give me an example?
Imagine that like media chair like recruits a person into the media committee, and the media committee person thinks that they take better photos than you, and then they're like, oh, why are your photos up?
Oh, that. I just make it equal. Tell them to suck it up. I'll just post same amount. Like this post, I'll post 10 of these pictures, 10 of these kind of pictures.
All right. Okay. And then last one for me.
there's only a minute and 30 left.
Oh, snap. Okay. Oh, wait, what? Okay, so a sports event and a general meeting are like two very different photography situations. How will you shoot each event?
Say it one more time.
A sports event and a general meeting are two very different photography situations. How are you going to make sure you shoot each event properly?
I'll be moving around everywhere, taking pictures. I'm not going to get that involved in the activities myself. I'll just be focusing on my job.
Okay, cool.
We have time for one more.
Okay. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, no, you can go. Okay, so you mentioned earlier that you attended almost every event. I'm just wondering what your workload is for next year, because as we go higher, our workload is built.
My workload, it's going to be stressful, but being associates, having a job, having to commute home every weekend, and doing all that, and maybe do us, I am able to do this job. My workload I'm not sure where it's going to go. It might be more, however, I know I can handle it because I've done worse. Maybe it could be easier, which is a lot easier, which would be a lot better for me. We'll see, but I know I can handle it.
Good evening, you guys. My name is John Felix Rodriguez, and I'm ready for your membership relations chair. Just a quick little background story of myself and how I kind of joined VSA. My first VSA event was actually the winter retreat. BC Dubs great retreat. It was a really fun retreat, and it really allowed me to get to know a little bit more people, and the people that I kind of already knew allowed me to grow a bigger relationship with you guys. So I went after that, kind of doing, going to general meetings and whatnot, and trying to do what I can to help out. And ever since then, kind of never looked back. Here I am. So that's a quick little story. One of the reasons why I feel like I'm approved for membership chair is because I really do want this club to succeed, and I really want it to thrive and be the best that it can be, not only for next year but for the years after, and really kind of put a stamp and just be hey, this is what kind of leave a legacy to where hey, this is what we did, but then let next year top that. Always be better. If you are always just trying to go with this flat lane and whatnot, but one of the ways I plan to achieve those goals is by utilizing myself, but not only myself, the future board members as well, making sure that we all have common goals and we all want to achieve those goals, and making sure that kind of following up with everyone, making sure that someone's doing the correct job with that, making sure that they're doing things just right, and making sure that they're doing it on time and have specific deadlines and whatnot. I've also had a really decent amount of leadership roles from the past, from back in high school, being in ASB all 4 years, being president for a Pacific Islanders club, and then after I graduated high school, was an advisor for them for about 2 years, and then from there, I was a youth group leader for a very long time, and then along the way as well, became working for Starbucks, and then becoming a shift supervisor there, and really delegating tasks and whatnot. So I've kind of had a lot of experience with kind of delegating roles, or really just kind of following with certain tasks, and just really just having that, I don't know how to put it, but anyways, just also just kind of since I have been working with a lot of people, and making sure that there will always be conflicts with one another, and people will always kind of always butt heads. Just human nature. But since I feel like I've had enough experience throughout my life, just working with a lot of conflicts and everything, I know certain ways. I know what works well, what doesn't work well, and I know how to tackle certain situations better than I think the other person does. Not trying to boost myself up or say that I'm too good or whatever, but I just feel like that's because I've learned so much and I've done so much and I failed so much that I know what to do. And with that, I'm running for membership relations.
Hi. Possible successor. So imagine that, like you already mentioned it, that 2 of your board members are clashing with each other, personality-wise, experience-wise, creativity-wise, and they're just constantly clashing and like hindering the board from working together efficiently. So what's the first thing you're going to do and how are you going to fix it?
One of the ways I would do that is kind of get talk to them separately and making sure like kind of get their side of the story. But then eventually they're gonna have to come together and really squash this beef. Because if you just have that like that toxicity and just that toxic like aroma and just that atmosphere, the board and just like the way that you're gonna communicate with each other, there's just gonna be a lot of backlash. And to really not to necessarily like leave other board members out or to leave like other people out of the or anything like that, but like it's specific with just those 2 people. And I would feel like it was my job to like go in there and be like, hey, let's just hash this out just between the 3 of us. I'll just essentially be that mediator and making sure that like this person has to talk and listen. Or when person A has to talk, person B has to listen. When person B has to talk, person A has to listen. And then comes to this agreement where they just have to be like, even though they may not like each other, like outside of the board meetings and outside of VSA, just when you're in VSA, when you're at the board meetings, when you're at, essentially like this work that you're doing, like make it be business. Like everything that we should be doing is just about business. Nothing should be personal. If it does get to that point, that's where I'll step in and just kind of like squash that and potentially, hopefully squash it. High hopes, but if it's not, then kind of get that understanding like, hey, we're here for one reason, and like making sure that it's not about us, it's about the members, making sure that they're having a great time. If they're not having a great time, then what are we doing?
Okay, so you are supposed to be mediator. Imagine if like, I don't know, person A from the other problem, you're giving them feedback and they take it personally or they don't take it well, and you end up getting dragged into the drama. What are you going to do about that?
I get dragged. I hate drama in general though, but I think in that situation, again, it would just come down to really just talking to the person and just really just trying to understand the whole concept of like confidentiality. Like when we talk amongst each other, like I don't want you to be spreading this amongst other board members. Like don't be spreading our dirty laundry. If you're spreading our dirty laundry, you're not helping each other out. We're not helping each other out to become better. We're just bringing each other down. And for someone to do that, I feel like I would have to like really step in and just really like kind of assert myself and just really talk to other board. Like if anything, the only other board member that I would ever bring into this is just the president. That's it. And then the president, if I do need his help, bring him in and like help me along the way of like trying to like really not spread this drama outward and like make it so apparent and make it so transparent that even the members can see it.
So I guess one of the things that I did was helping each board member kind of find their goals and like to be able to do their roles more efficiently so that they're not clashing with each other and so they know exactly what they're doing for the whole semester. How would you make sure that, or how would you encourage each board member to be able to be the best they can do?
I kind of said it kind of slightly, but like again, like following up and just making sure that like they are doing the best that they can do. I mean, they're in it for a reason. Kind of remind them and motivate them. Just like essentially, like I said, just remind them like why they decided to do like the position that they're in, and not like oh you're doing all right, just kind of like that small pat on the back, but really like praise them and like when they do a really great job, praise them and like thank them for that and like kind of give them that praise. At the meeting or whatever, but then if they do like a poor job, also like be that person to like let them know like, hey, you could have done this X, Y, and Z event or this event a little bit better with like X, Y, and Z steps and stuff like that as well.
Okay, so by following up, like just because we haven't seen you in the general meetings, do you think that you would be able to make it to the board meetings and the general meetings so that you know what's going on, like knowing that, so that you know when there's drama happening? or how would you be able to make sure that you always know what's up?
Yeah. I mean, like, I know I'm a very busy person. I know I have work, and the majority of the time I close, and the majority of the time when I do have the days off, I do try to come out to meetings and whatnot, but majority of the time I do work on meeting days and sometimes even more days. But I'll try to potentially, like, I'll work my work schedule around, VSA schedule. I'm going to prioritize a little bit more work because I don't really plan on staying at Starbucks for the rest of, like, my last year here at CSUN. So, like, I'll definitely try to prioritize more of my time to this because I also, like I said, like, I want this club to thrive. I really want this club to succeed. If I don't give my 150% or whatever, then I'm not living up to my own expectations.
My name is Tinn Ou, and I am running for your 2017-2018 Public Relations Chair. And it's a little bit about myself. It's my third year here at CSUN, and I major in animation, and I minor in business management. And this is my second year in VSA. So I have a question for you guys. Do you guys know what public relations is? Besides you, I know what you know. Some of you know. Okay. So let me break it down for you. Okay, so PR is in charge of managing all of our social media accounts. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and even overseeing the club website. Webmaster. PR's job is to present the club in effective ways to maintain the values and image of our club. So our online presence in the online community is important. That includes our ads, our pictures, our graphics that we put out there. A PR is to communicate to the right audience at the right time. For instance, Instagram. A PR should know what to say and when to say it. He or she should create a simple yet effective caption that gets the point across and be aware of the times of increased online traffic to get the most public exposure. A PR must focus on building good relations with the community through these online platforms, creating favorable publicity and content, and therefore handling any misconceptions or a negative look on the clubs and its events. So, Tinn, how are you qualified for PR? Well, I'm glad you asked. Simple, 3 reasons. I have the experience, I have the skills, I have the dedication. So, number 1, I have the experience as a leader and a board member. In 2013, 2014, I was secretary of Nguyen, which is like a key club. Some of you are familiar with that. I won Distinguished Secretary that year. Yes, thank you. In 2015, 2016, I was CSUN VSA Associate. Keep in mind, this was my first year in VSA, and they just pulled me right into the Associates program. In 2017, 2018, of course, I was CSUN VSA Secretary, and I actually worked closely alongside our PR this year. So second reason, I have the skills. I have graphic design skills. I'm proficient in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Adobe Animate, so I can create profile pic designs, photo edits, pamphlets, posters, maybe even animations. You'll never know. I also have communication skills. Throughout this year, I've worked close with each and every board member as they worked on their own individual tasks. I was able to maintain strong communication and good relations with each and every one of them. Also, I have critique tolerance, and that's actually really important as a PR. Thanks to my experience as an art student, I'm used to these harsh critiques. I understand that what I put out there and what I create should be based on a shared vision of VSA board and the organization as a whole. So I'm willing to take, last-minute critiques as long as it works towards a product that we're all happy with. So I encourage critiques as long as they're constructive. Third, I have dedication. I have a lot of love for this organization and its people. I strive to see this club grow, branch out, and just improve in all aspects possible. My love and dedication for the club can be seen in my 2 years of involvement in VCN. A lot of the hard work that we put into it, I was really dedicated. I have a lot of passion for VCN and the club in general. So whatever task you give me, I'll do the best of my ability to get it done. Have I convinced you yet? I have the knowledge, I have the experience, I have the skills, I have the dedication and the love. What more do you need in a PR? No, honestly, tell me. I'll make it happen.
How do you plan to improve the position?
How do I plan to improve the position? So I feel like one of the struggles that we had this year was what I talked with earlier was the critiques. Like when it comes to, for example, making like last minute changes on cover photos or making like the VCN pamphlet or something, I believe that when I make a design, I should present it with the rest of the board so I can get their input in it. And I'll value each and every opinion, take that into consideration, work things out, and hopefully we can get a product that we're all happy with. And I feel like we kind of struggled with that this year. Like I know a lot of people take critiques personally, but I'm going to take it at a professional level for the product.
Any other questions? Felix?
Yeah, just out of curiosity. Do you know when the peak hours are to post on social media?
Good question. So I am pretty familiar. I was really active on Instagram before, and people actually came up to me like, wow, like how do you get so many likes and stuff? And I do pay attention to when the online traffic, everyone's on their phone, probably like during like dinner time-ish, everyone's like on their phone on Instagram. It also kind of depends with what's going on that day, like what's going on in, what's leading people to log on to their social media. And so I'll keep attention to what's going on in society and the news and all that.
I'm running for sports coordinator. Alright, so I'll give you some personal information why I want to join or why I like the position. I believe that playing sports is a great way to build relationships because when I first came here, I didn't know anyone, but I started playing basketball like Austin and Jonathan, and it really helped me break out. Alright, so there are 3 reasons what I think I can do for this position. So the first one is to establish this position because we currently don't have one. So I think we should. And the second reason is intramurals. We don't have any intramurals either. And why not compete? Competing is good for you. And the third one is to have a sports day because, like I said earlier, sports can help build relationships. And for turnout, I have a great way to get people to come. My incentive is to have a tournament, and whoever wins get free boba on me.
Oh!
For that, I'll break the team into small if possible.
As small as possible.
That makes sense. Alright. There is one concern though. I'm about to graduate and I might have a job, but I'll try to do my best possible thing I can to make it work. So yeah.
Woo!
Does anyone have questions for Steven?
What are you going to do with people that absolutely hate school?
I'll say just do it. It's fun.
As nice.
And I'm pretty sure there will be people who's willing to teach them. Because I was I was like that too. I was playing volleyball. I thought I wouldn't like it, but it's pretty fun.
What sports would you organize for a sports day?
Okay, so basketball, volleyball, soccer if possible, if there's enough, and capture the flag.
Jason?
Are there any traditional Vietnamese sports that you're familiar with?
I am not, sorry.
I was wondering if you're thinking about introducing them as well. Never mind.
So, you want to say something?
Oh yeah, you first.
Oh, okay.
And friendship games, you can have more sports before it so you can go to park athleticism.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying.
So one of the problems with participating in intramurals is having people, attend, or there's not enough people who want to join. How are you going to encourage them?
Alright, so for me, I think I'll say it doesn't matter about winning or losing as long as you have fun, because having fun is the whole goal.
Yay!
Woo!
at what time would most people prefer to like play intramural sports? Because for example, for the other club, we had a basketball team like during the PCN season, but it was always at 10 p.m. So that itself is not only late for most people. Like a lot of people, they go home around like 7, 8. They have dinner, and like that's when they're taking care of their schoolwork and things like that. There's a lot of like practical issues with it. And personally, for me, I wouldn't even play basketball at 10 p.m. just for the fun of it. But that's just me. But I'm asking that question because you know, there was also like conflict with like culture show practices and things like that. So that's why I was wondering, like if you like around what people like they would prefer to play. Sorry, I can't speak to it.
Honestly, like before I set up the intramural team, I'll try to get like what time works out for everybody, and then try to make the decision based on that.
Are you gonna take my esports suggestion?
I was waiting for that one.
Do it.
I was gonna ask
Yeah, for the esports, I'll try my best, but I'll try to like ask other people to see what they think.
Woo! Do it! You can do it!
Are you limiting the team to only VSA members?
I'm not sure actually.
Thunder?
So you say you're graduating, so you won't be a seasonal student anymore, right? I think to be part of the intramurals, they have to have someone under the name of that. Do you know anyone who's like okay with? Do you have like a mini you who represent like VSA?
Maybe. Maybe.
Just looking at us.
Question? Did you have a question? Any other questions for Steven? Good?
So going back to Nemo's question about intramural member retention, deep down no one likes to lose. Let's say you're on like a losing streak and people start quitting. How would you well, let's say you're not okay. Are you playing like just CSUN VSA? Like I'm just saying like in intramurals when you play against like other clubs and stuff. You know, because it happened before. So how are you gonna work against that or around it?
I guess all you can tell them is to try harder.
Stop sucking so much. I'm Tyler Wong.
Hi Tom.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know, I'm Tyler Wong. And I'm running for events coordinator. So the reason I want to do events coordinator is because before I came to VSA, I was doing a frat thing. So I did a couple of events for them. Kind of sucked. Like, you would get, have some drinks, you know, all the good stuff. And as soon as you get sober, it's not fun anymore. But with VSA, all the events I went to, like, I was dead sober, didn't need any, like, didn't need anything. You guys are cool. Because alcohol, that's bad, kids. But yeah, it really brought me into the culture and like all you guys. Because, you know, probably without all the events, I probably wouldn't be in this club anymore. Good job, Jasu. Okay, this is going bad. Alright, so I might not have very much experience with making events, but with the small experience I do have, I like to think I did a pretty good job. So who went to the karaoke event that I've set up? You? It's pretty dope, right? Yeah. Very cool. Very cool? Yeah. That's good. Who went to the pizza event? Pizza party. Yeah. Hey, dope, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Who went to the arcade event? Let's not talk about that one. But if I become events coordinator, I'm gonna try to keep doing what I'm doing with the events, you know, minus the arcade one. Make like some more fun ones around when like the general members start to join, so they can like retain more general members. And yeah, any questions?
Jason and then Calvin.
All right. Okay. So as events coordinator, what do you think will be your greatest weakness, and how would you improve on it?
Oof, that's a tough one. Probably my greatest weakness would be like actually getting people to show up, cause like I can't force people to show up, but what I can do is try to like encourage them, cause like I'm a pretty outgoing guy, so I can probably go up to people like, hey, come out to this dope event.
All right. So tell me about a time when you motivated others to come.
Motivated others? Okay. Ooh, I don't know if I can tell this story. Okay, I'll get another story. Okay. Alright. So, most people don't like karaoke, right?
You don't?
Oh, I don't know. A lot of people I talk to don't. But I got a group of like 15 people to get to go to karaoke, and they had a pretty good time. Right? Like Monica didn't even sing, but she still went. So I motivated her to go.
But how? Good job, Tyson.
Oh, I don't remember. I just know I did it. It was all reflex, you know? It's just who I am, you know? Next question.
Okay, so pretend I'm a new member at Meet the Clubs.
Right.
How would you persuade me to stay at stay for VSA? VSA. VSA.
All right, so I'd probably go up to them, you know, like get to know them, like see what they're interested in, and like see what their hobbies are. Maybe I can like tell them like, oh yeah, we're gonna have an event like that, like a couple weeks from now, or like in the future, like if there's interest, you know. And I'll just try to like do that for every member who wants to join, and like see which like members have the common interests, and like whoever has the biggest interest in something, they could I can make an event for that.
Would you have something like Meet VSA or Recruitment Week? Do you have something planned out for that?
I don't have something planned out like in like stone, but I have like a couple events that I would like to do for like when we're recruiting, like couple like barbecues, maybe like bowling, like JSU did. All right, any other questions? Connie.
Say like you have like a very low outcome with your event, like not that many people would come through. How would you like improve on getting more members? Like how would you encourage members to come out to like events in the future if there's like a very low outcome on like the previous?
Well, if nobody come out, obviously got to change what type of event it is. So I try to like get not reviews, like input from people, like, oh, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And then like whatever has the most interest, I'll try to make an event for that. But ultimately, if people don't want to come out, I can't like force them to go unless they're Monica. Austin.
All right, scenario. You have a barbecue.
Yeah.
And it suddenly rains.
Oh. Hey, party at JSU's house? No, but seriously, I probably, like, if somebody volunteers like their house to go to, like we'll probably head over there like if it's big enough, but ultimately if it's not big enough, probably go to my house to like set up. Or we can just go like with TCC. Just like order some McDonald's, bring it downstairs. Some McDowell. All right, any other questions?
In parking lot.
Yes.
Okay, so you said the arcade event wasn't as successful as the other.
It was not good.
What did you learn from that?
Well, I mean, obviously I learned not to go back there. Like, I gotta learn from my mistakes. Like, oh, this event wasn't that popular, so like we won't do it again because like the venue wasn't that good, the games weren't that good, and I guess like not too many people want to play video games, so I could like change the thing entirely. So I probably should scout out like a place beforehand because like I've never been to that arcade like before, so I should have known like what kind of games they had, and I should have known that it was kind of lame. All right, anybody else? Yes.
Yes. Situational. Let's say you're the host of an event, right?
Right.
And let's say a member comes out and and they pregame a little too hard.
Hey, whoa, no alcohol. This is VSA.
Okay, let's say I'm a freshman then, and I ask you, is there alcohol? What would you say?
No.
Who's that person right away?
Yeah, no, get out of here.
of members.
No, come on. No.
Okay, let's say you have no members.
No. What's the meaning of event coordinator?
I'm just saying, what if you have no one on your sign up?
No one on my sign up if they ask me if there's alcohol?
Yeah. Yes, follow up on the event question. Let's say you set up a clubbing event, right?
Yes.
And someone went clubbing a little too hard. Yes. The clubbing.
Yes.
And let's say they got a sickness.
Sickness.
A
little bit of flu?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you're the host of the event, and something happened to them. What would you do?
If they're like too sick,
Too
like
sick.
the flu hit them too hard,
Like,
hey, I gotta get them to the hospital. Like first things first.
So,
That's like,
would you cancel the event, or how would you proceed with that?
that's a good question. Depends on how sick they are. Like if they gotta go to a hospital, I'd probably cancel the event.
Okay, but what about everyone else that's at the event right now?
Oh, maybe I'll leave somebody in charge. Like if somebody I trust, like somebody on board, like who's responsible, I'll say, hey, I gotta take this person to the hospital right now. Like somebody take care of like everybody else. Like you're in charge now. Good luck. Make sure nobody else catches the flu. All right. Any other questions?
Last question.
Hey, Jason.
How would you persuade them, like if everyone is backing off and no one is...
Persuade them for what?
Like when that thing happened.
Nah, I think I'm good because Calvin's down, Andy's down.
But what if they're not there on that day? Like supposedly.
So there's no board members?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Hey, all the board members are down.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm always down for you.
I'll call Calvin up like, hey, get over here.
We have time for one last question. Jason?
Hey, do you like role playing? You want to do some role playing right now?
I'm down. I'm always down for role playing.
All right. So you're gonna persuade. Let's say, what do you want to be called?
Tyler.
Okay, you're gonna persuade Tyler. He's a new member at Meet the Clubs. He just comes to the table, and you try and persuade him to join the club and keep attending meetings.
All right. So so he's Tyler. Who am I?
You're Tyler.
All right. So you have to come up to me because I'm at the table. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Hey, what's your name?
Tyler, what's your name?
Oh, what a coincidence! I'm Tyler too.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, man. Hey, have you heard about this VSA?
No, what is that?
This is the Vietnamese Student Association.
What's it all about?
Making sure people know about the Vietnamese culture. So, what kind of stuff are you into?
I just like, partying sometimes. Or, sometimes I like to do, icebreakers too, like.
Nobody likes doing icebreakers by yourself.
You don't know that.
Alright. Well, you're in luck. If you join VSA, there's going to be plenty of icebreakers.
Wow.